In the quiet, misty morning,
when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, and the sky is clear and red, when the summer ceased its gleaming, when the corn is past its prime, when adventure's lost its meaning, I'll be homeward bound in time. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plow, set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. When you find it's me you're missing, if you're hoping I'll return to your thoughts, I'll soon be listening. In the road I'll stop and turn, then the wind will set me racing, as my journey nears its end, and the path I'll be retracing, when I'm homeward bound again. Bind me not to the pasture, chain me not to the plow, set me free to find my calling, and I'll return to you somehow. In the quiet, misty morning, when the moon has gone to bed, when the sparrows stop their singing, I'll be homeward bound again.
Special welcome to our quartet from the Salt Lake Men's Chorus. It is not the gay men's chorus because they have recently allowed in one or two heterosexuals, which I've heard, and I applaud the open-mindedness. I really do. They're just like us. They are. I'm very excited for you to hear it. We had them sing the entire service at 9, and I was like crying, and it was wonderful. So I'm very excited for you to hear them for the rest of today's service. My friends, let's get through these announcements. First announcement, the Requiem, Carl Jenkins. Yes. The Requiem is next Sunday. It will be both services, 9 and 11, the 26th of April. If you have not been to one of our Requiems before, it is the Sunday where we remember those who have left us, who have passed on this past year, those in our community, those who are connected to us in some way. And we do so through song, through beautiful music. It is really the biggest choir Sunday of the year, of many big choir Sundays. Which is that true? Would you say? Is it the biggest one? I don't know. I mean, there's lessons and carols. There's when I'm like, can you do like all the Les Mis songs? And then there's this. So it's great. It's just a beautiful, beautiful gift from our choir to our community in honor of those who have passed on. I hope you will join us. If you are not able to come to either service on Sunday, they are doing an additional performance Friday, April 24th. At 7 p.m., so that's this Friday. It is not here, though. It is at Christ United Methodist Church, which is in Mill Creek. So, 3 opportunities to hear this beautiful, beautiful Requiem. Harmony Fest is coming up. Who went to Harmony Fest last year? Yay! Wasn't it awesome? What if I told you it's going to be even more awesome this year? No, it truly is. Do you know why? Here are the reasons. 1, we know what we're doing more this year. Well, I mean, that's really the whole reason. But 1, we're having many of the artists back, but we're also having even more music than we had last year. It's going to be music from the start of the festival at 11 until we close at 8 p.m. We have favorites like the Salt Lake Strummers coming back, who, if you don't know, are a sing-along all-ukulele band. If you have never sung along to Get By With Little Help From My Friends with 30 ukuleles, you have not lived. But you have that chance. We also have the Trash Pandas, of course, and many other favorites. But it's going to be lots of music. We have, this is revolutionary. This year, the beer is going to be in the same place as the music. Apparently, that aids in a good time. Is when you don't have to go to one place and sit and drink your beer in quiet and then go and listen to the music in another place. So we're taking care of that. We have even more food this year. So we're having a Mediterranean food truck, which will have more vegetarian and vegan options than the one we had last year. And I'm working on this. I think it's going to happen. We should also have, at least during the day, a fancy coffee and baked goods business coming to Venn too. So you can come spend all day here, eat your breakfast, lunch, buy some art, listen to some music, drink a beer, eat a falafel. What more could you want, really? So I really hope you'll all come. I also hope that you will take a few of these that we have out on it's either the welcome table or the other table, and give them to your friends. I'm asking everybody to invite 5 people who are not related to the church. And it's better to invite them if you hand them a physical thing. So grab some of these, bring them in. We really want this to be even bigger and better, and we want it to evolve into something that the whole city looks forward to, so we can just share our love and light and build community. So I hope you will join us in that. Anything else that's happening, you can find out either on your little half sheets or in our Torch newsletter. If you're not signed up for the Torch, please do so. You can do that out there at the welcome table. And now let's move on and come on in to our worship today. There are some seats up here, I think. Is somebody sitting there? Nobody can sit there. Never mind. Sorry. All right. Well, I'll let them do their job and figure out where. Yes. They have 2 seats there. All right. And there, Jack says there's a couple of seats up there. All right. Oh, Judy's on it. Judy knows what she's doing. Okay. It's all going to be good. All right. So, my friends, this is just not listening to me today, which is very annoying. My friends, let us begin our worship today. If you're able to, please close your eyes. Today we welcome worship by lighting a chalice in honor of water, in honor of the water that we all share, the water that makes up our bodies, the water that moves through us and connects us with every other living thing. Think of water. Imagine it touching your skin. If you took a shower or washed your face this morning, remember what that felt like. Feel the moisture in your body, on your body, maybe your mouth. Notice the moisture in your cells. Think of a time when you've been thirsty, parched. Think how tight, think how dry, think how drawn you felt. And notice how you feel now. Feel the lushness, the plumpness of that water in your body. As we light this chalice, we thank this water. We honor this water that is part of our interconnection with all other beings. Please rise in body or spirit for our opening hymn, number 100. 100. And David has some things to tell you about that.
I got told first service that my tempo was racing. It was more like peace like a torrent. So I'll slow it down just a little bit. Tricky thing on the repeats, they can catch you up. When you go back to the top of the page, you see the first verse again. All right, the inclination is going to be to go to verse 2. Don't. You sing all the way through. The music guides you that way, but just don't skip to the next verse until it's time to. Help your neighbors.
It's fun when you can look up and sing, isn't it? My friends, I am happy to welcome up today's lay minister, Jack Markman, who will speak on April's lay ministry theme, sacrifice.
Hi. Let me give you a disclaimer to start this one out. This is a story about the loss of a dog. So if that is upsetting for you, which would be understandable.
The dog doesn't die.
The dog doesn't die. Thanks, Jay. Spoilers. But that's true. Either way, you've been warned. When my wife Sarah and I graduated college, our first priority was getting a dog. My wife loves dogs, loves them far more than she loves people. In fact, she does. So moving off campus meant we finally could own one of our own. The trouble was, neither of us had owned or taken care of much more than a goldfish, and we weren't sure about our ability to take care of another living being. Luckily, Sarah had a bright idea. In college, a classmate had volunteered with a program that trained service dogs for veterans. They had fostered a puppy, getting training and supplies from program staff. This seemed like the perfect way for us to become comfortable as pet owners and also doing something important for the community in the process. And we wouldn't have to leave our dog home alone all day as we worked. Perfect plan. So a few months after we graduated, we received a 12-week-old Bernedoodle puppy named Leif. He was a shy boy, suspicious of both strangers and green peppers. We tested that. Who really didn't like being left alone. Lucky for him, for the next 7 months, he rarely left our side. From the time he was small, we would put on his little service dog and training vest and go out into the world. He saw our office, he saw the stores, restaurants, and even a friend's wedding. And he sort of learned a few commands along the way, too. We knew that at the end of his training, we would have to give him back to the program and to his veteran. As Jay said, he did not die. But the longer we had him, the more we fell in love with him. And oddly, the less consistently we heard from his true owners. It was as if he was becoming our own. But Leif was never fully ours. At the end of several difficult months of near total radio silence from the volunteer managers for the program, we were told to drive to a ranch in Weber. There we were told to leave Leif in a barn stall before we were ushered out. We never saw him or heard from the program again. We'll probably never know if he became a service dog. A sacrifice is different from a simple loss. Sacrifices most often are made with intent where loss may not be. But that intent is not always enough. Sacrifices can be coerced, and there are plenty of sacrifices made to cruel gods. It seems sometimes like we made our sacrifice to one in the form of a poorly managed program preying on green volunteers like us. Even so, our original intent was a true one, and sacrifice had always been important to our time with Leif. When we took him in, there was a lot of things that we had to give up. He was terrified of crowds, which was not ideal for a service dog. His tail was a wrecking ball in grocery stores, also not ideal. And not all of our friends wanted a dog in their house. Having a big, dopey dog stuck to your leg at all times, it turns out, has its limits. We gave up a lot to have him even before we gave him up. At the best of times, when sacrifices are made with free intent, something is gained as well as loss. There is often a kind of holiness to a sacrifice, and this was true with us as well. Our offering pushed us outside ourselves, as sacrifices will often do, and deeply connected us with another sweet and happy creature in life. Structuring our entire schedule around this 80-pound menace was certainly inconvenient. It was. But at the same time, spending all day, every day with him was a privilege neither of us would trade, one we couldn't have had with a normal dog. Though we taught him commands, we learned just as much as him. We learned how to care for and love a dog without restraint. And in the end, the pain of saying goodbye was real, but so were the gifts. There is a happy ending, and not just that he didn't die. A week after we surrendered Leif, our first priority was, again, getting a new dog. We decided we would make a high-needs adoption, something we could not have done without our training and time with Leif. The saying goes that sometimes there is beauty from ashes, and as it happens, our adopted dog's name is Ash.
My friends, we are going to do a meditation. So usually when I am tasked with doing the meditation, or leading the meditation, I guess, I will lead us in what's called a metta, or loving kindness meditation. Now, I did not make this up. This is a Buddhist meditation that is practiced all over the world. And I find it important for me, but for many people, in training us into compassion, right? Because compassion is something that the world is not necessarily going to train you into. And so we need to practice it in order to be compassionate. Now, I have heard many people love this. They've come up to me. They say they love the metta meditation. They're so glad I do it. They've been doing it more, and it helps them in their life. But I have heard that there are also some people who don't like it, who think that it is too long, that there's not enough words, that they don't like wishing nice things to people they don't like. I get it. It's not supposed to be easy. But also, I just want to have a moment here. Does anybody know what it means in online lingo to say to bean soup as a verb? One person. Oh, no, two people. Yes, the Youngs, they know. Okay, so this comes from a post a while back. I think it was on TikTok. This young woman was sharing a bean soup recipe. That was the post. It was just her bean soup recipe. And she posts this little video of her making bean soup. And as soon as she posts it, the first comment is, "What if I don't like beans?" Now, so now to say you're bean souping me, has come to mean you have forgotten, or the bean souper has forgotten that not everything is only for them. That sometimes there are parts of things or things that may be for somebody else. And that's okay. And maybe not every single thing needs to be exactly your cup of tea, exactly what you would do, or what you would want. So there are many people who love this. There are some people who it's not their favorite thing. I only do a meditation maybe once a month, if that. When Reverend Monica does it, she never does this. Like, you'll get your time in the sun. I promise. I promise. So I ask you to join me in this metta meditation. If you want, if you don't want to, that's fine. You can think of your own recipe for bean soup. You can think about whatever makes you happy. You can think about math or the New York Times or whatever it is that makes you happy. All right? Now, please join me in meditation. Close your eyes if you can. Have your feet on the floor if you can. And let's take a few breaths together. Inhale through the nose, lift your shoulders up to your ears. Exhale out the mouth, let your shoulders slide down your back. We'll do that again. Inhale, lift your shoulders. Exhale, really release, let your shoulders slide. Inhale, lift. And I want to hear it this time. Exhale, release. And now breathe normally. Notice your connection with what's holding you up, the chair, the floor. It's ultimately the earth. See how much of your weight you can give to the earth. How much work can you give away and still exist? And now, in your mind's eye, picture someone that you love. No question at all. You love this person. Picture what they're wearing. Picture their facial expression. And say silently to them in your heart, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. And now picture someone who you like very much, but they're not the first person you think of for whatever reason, maybe a little farther out in your circles. Picture what this person is wearing, picture their facial expression, and say silently in your heart, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. And now picture someone who seems fine, but you don't know them as well. Maybe they're more of an acquaintance from work or school or church. Picture what this person is wearing. Picture their facial expression and say silently to them in your heart, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. Now picture someone who makes you uncomfortable. Maybe they're a friend or family member that you've had a falling out with. Maybe they just have extremely wrong opinions. Picture what this person is wearing. Picture their facial expression. And say silently to them in your heart, may you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you live with ease. And now picture someone that you hate. Someone who makes your skin crawl, someone who you would not spend time with if you could possibly help it. Picture what this person is wearing. Picture their facial expression and say silently to them in your heart, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. And now picture all the people in the world, 7 to 8 billion of them. Try to hold all of that joy, all of that sorrow, all of that laughter, all of those tears in your heart. and say silently to all people, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. And now picture the whole world, the interconnected web, all human and non-human beings. We'll say silently to the whole world, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease. And now open your eyes. Look at your fellow congregants, members, friends. Really look at them with your eyes. Eye contact is good. And we're going to say out loud to each other, keep looking, may you be safe, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you live with ease.
If I fall one chance, this perfect moment, just let me fall.
I love having to sing right after him. It's so good. Actually, who was here when we had the puppies here? Great. Did anyone adopt one? No, not here. I think somebody might have. But I've heard these aspens are also up for adoption. Is that correct? For $40. For $40. Well, yeah, there's an adoption fee, obviously. The $40 donation to the church. I think I'm bringing one home. It just depends which one I can fit in my RAV4. We'll see. So, just so you know, see David if you'd like to bring home an aspen, but don't bring mine. I haven't picked mine yet, but it's probably going to be one of those or that little one. Anywho, all right, now you've all forgotten his voice. Oh, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. For this precious day. For all gathered here. For all gathered here. And those far away. And those far away. For this time we share. For this time we share. With love and care. With love and care. Oh, we give thanks. Oh, we give thanks for this precious day. The offering for the work of the church will now be gratefully received, and please take this time to greet one another as well. Happy Earth Day again. If you're visiting, Earth Day is a very important holiday for Unitarian Universalists. And also that's where you are, a Unitarian Universalist church. But given that, who is depressed about our water situation this year? And not just because of the skiing, right? I mean, also because of the skiing, but not just because of the skiing. Mostly because of how little water will fill our reservoirs and the Great Salt Lake this year, right? Fortunately, I am told we still have a buffer from that wild snow year a couple years ago, but this means that the Great Salt Lake is not going to get closer this year to a healthy level and will likely drop significantly lower this summer. It's a reminder that we can't just pray for snow. And I'm not making fun of that, actually. I don't actually hate praying for snow. And as I mentioned last week, I do support prayer, and I personally pray often. But even if you believe that prayer is inherently powerful, we can't just pray for snow, right? And credit where it's due, fortunately, it really doesn't seem to me that for the most part, the people who are telling us to pray for snow are saying that that's all we should do. They say this actually rather explicitly. The government and those in power are taking some steps to protect Great Salt Lake. And I do think that that is heartening and that really is something to build on. And I know they're not doing as much as we want. But I've said this before, demonizing those who are not doing everything we want is actually not going to help fill in the Great Salt Lake. It may make us feel good and righteous in the moment, but really it just puts up walls, or dams, if you will, between us, when we need collaboration and common purpose to flow. Should we keep pushing for more when we feel that what's happening is not enough? Yes, absolutely. But we can do this respectfully with a basis in shared humanity and interest. After all, everybody needs water. Everybody breathes air. Because truly, I do believe that we can be part of the first community in the world to help restore a dwindling saline lake. Why? Well, I have some cynical reasons and some less cynical reasons. So we're going to start with the cynical ones. More cynical reasons include there's just a lot of money tied up in the valley at this point between tech and the LDS Church and other stuff that I don't even really understand or care about. And money has a way in our system of prioritizing the protection of that money. And I think it would probably be much more expensive to move all of that infrastructure somewhere else than to invest in getting more water into the Great Salt Lake. And I think we are seeing movement in that direction, definitely. Second cynical reason, the Olympics are coming back in a few years, and it would be frankly embarrassing if Salt Lake City was hit by like a terrible inversion when the world was watching. In fact, that exact global humiliation during the Olympics was what got Beijing to start improving their air quality, and they have improved it a lot since that first happened. In the same vein, I think it would be a very bad look in general for the LDS Church if their promised land turned into a toxic waste dump. And I think they are and will dedicate some of their deep resources to avoiding that outcome. Now, less cynically, I think we are actually in a perfect historical position to use the lessons of the past and knowledge of the present to show the world how restoration can be possible. For instance, Lake Owens in California has often been held up as like a cautionary tale or like a ghost of Christmas future sort of thing for Salt Lake City, like this is going to happen to you. Yes, Lake Owens did dry up completely, and yes, it turned that area into a toxic waste dump, but that was 100 years ago. It really was. And at that time, there was no widespread environmental awareness. And yes, a few other salt lakes across the world have dried up since then, but it's not a common occurrence. And in general, we have been learning more and more about both why it's important to save these lakes and how to save these lakes. The record lows a few years ago truly were a wake-up call. And the few years since then, we have seen things start to turn around. Yes, they have just started. Yes, that is frustrating. Yes, we want instant gratification, but in reality, nothing happens like that. The fact that it has started should be celebrated and built upon. We mustn't stop here, of course, but we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that we are at least going in the right direction. Just because it's not happening overnight doesn't mean that it's not happening. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the media of the past 30 years or what, but I do know that we tend to think these days that if we are not being negative, we're not doing the work. Like, how many times have you had this conversation with someone this year? I think I will go for a bike ride. It's such a beautiful day. It is. Of course, it shouldn't be like this, and it's awful and scary that it's so nice out, but I'm going hiking later. Oh, totally. It's awful and proof that the world is ending. Totally. It is the worst thing ever, and it is all the fault of all those people I hate. Yes, I agree. I also hate them. It is good to be better than other people. 100%. I am glad that we are better than other people. Enjoy your hike before you die of toxic dust, that is. Enjoy your bike ride while you can. Scene. I know I've had that conversation. Maybe you have too. Now, I do appreciate that we do need to spread awareness, keep this front of mind of the direness of the situation. And we want to keep this water issue at the forefront of the collective Salt Lake consciousness. So it's not bad to remind ourselves. But it's also like, okay to enjoy a nice day. Ooh, are the stones coming? And hear me out. You don't need to earn the enjoyment by paying penance to the anxiety god. As someone with lifelong anxiety, there is nothing that will satiate the anxiety god. The anxiety god will keep asking for more and more. There comes a point when rending our clothes and gnashing our teeth doesn't help get water into the Great Salt Lake. We need to work toward a positive vision of what a healthy-ish Great Salt Lake can look like in relationship with the people who are actually here. Not imagine some idealized pre-colonial Eden that reality will always fall short of. Or fall into lamentations because it might not look exactly how we imagine that it should right now. Side note, sometimes I think I'm repeating myself too much in these sermons, and I'm like, oh, I need to say something new, or they're going to get bored. And once I was talking to a colleague, and I was dismayed about, my sermons, and I was like, oh, I just feel like I tell them the same thing over and over again. And she just looked at me and was like, Jay, you're a minister. It's your job to tell them the same thing over and over again. And that's true, of course. That's one of the things that Trump doesn't understand about his one-sided feud with Pope Leo, right? There's only so much one can and should say in a position like this. But the reason that these positions exist is because unless we have someone reminding us over and over, all this stuff is just so easy to bury, forget, or just rationalize away. So anyway, I've talked about this so many times, but here we go again. We humans always want to get to the thing. We want everything to be done. We want it to be the picture-perfect ending. We want to know we've won. We want to see the screen fade to black and read, and they lived happily ever after. But stories are all constructs. All beginnings, all endings are constructs. The truth is, we are all interconnected in the flow of time, in the flow of being. The truth is, the Great Salt Lake is not eternal. One day it will either dry up or overflow so much that it's no longer recognizable. One day the continents will drift so far apart from each other that they will smash back together again. Pangea Redux. But just because the Great Salt Lake is not eternal doesn't mean it cannot be a symbol of hope. Human beings are not eternal, and they inspire hope in me every day. So what would it look like if our work on the Great Salt Lake was based more in joy, hope, and vision, and less in fear, anger, and despair? What if we looked around us for people who have a vision of a healthy, thriving ecosystem and took big and small steps toward that vision, more than we lament and rage over doomsday projections of dusty ghost towns and sinful, desiccated lake beds? I did say more than. You can still have your lamentation. Lamentation is good. I just don't think we can build on it. So this year, I challenge us all to recommit to doing what we can to be responsible stewards, responsible, interconnected beings in this valley. Responsible siblings of the Great Salt Lake. I challenge us to envision with others what a healthy relationship with Great Salt Lake and the rest of our local ecosystem looks like, and start to take steps with others, big and small, toward that vision. Shout out, of course, to our environmental ministry team. Woo! One of their many programs, yes. One of their many programs is busing a whole lot of us up to the Bear River tree planting every fall. This program is run by the Northwest Band of Shoshone. Its goal is to restore the Bear River to its natural pre-colonial state, which will, among other things, improve water flow to the Great Salt Lake. Now, this is an ongoing project, right? We've done it a few years. We're going to continue doing it a few years. It is planting trees. Trees famously do not grow quickly. But so far, this program has planted thousands of trees, and we are still going. It took a long time for the Great Salt Lake to get to that record low. It will take a while to restore it as well. So we thank the environmental ministry team for all their work in helping to restore the Great Salt Lake, preserve public lands, and keep our air cleaner. You can go talk to them out at the environmental ministry table if you like. If you have interest or experience in these areas, they are always looking for folks to help them on their team to coordinate such wonderful causes. And also, I am excited to announce that there is a new gardening team at church, run by Master Gardener and Bonsai enthusiast, master, I don't know what you say, bonsai guy, Eric McGill. What this team focuses on will be determined collaboratively by those who attend, but I know that one of Eric's goals is to educate and support water-wise gardening. I know that I am hoping to slowly flip my strip in the next year or so, and I'm hoping this team can help show me the way. It's meeting for the first time on May 19th, and I plan on being there, and there's a sign-up sheet and more information also available out there right next to the environmental ministry table. So, woo. My friends, I invite each of you to dream with your community about the full restoration of Great Salt Lake and the beauty of a healthy Wasatch Valley ecosystem that includes humans. I invite us to see ourselves not as sinful interlopers destined to destroy, but instead as a part of this vast and beautiful ecosystem. Remember, nature's timeline is not our timeline. We will not get there overnight, but it is a victory to continue to move in the direction of a thriving ecosystem. After all, we'll never get to the end. We'll never get to that perfect picture, but we can continue to move toward that beautiful vision together. May it be so. be well. May all beings be content. May our actions be bonded to our deepest values. May we treat others as we would be treated. May we move through each day with compassion toward ourselves, our friends, and our enemies. May each breath bring us closer to our truest selves and to those we love. Amen.
See your way home at the close of the day. Seek your way home, drive the shadows away. Wherever you go, wherever you roam, it will brighten your road, lighten your load if you sing your way home. Just sing your way home. Going home. Going home. Going home, Lord. I'm going home. Going home. Going home. Nevermore to roam. I am going home. Sing, 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 sing your way home. Just sing your way home. Going home. Sing your way home.
Thank you. Just wonderful, wonderful thanks to the Salt Lake City Pan Orientation Men's Chorus. Only men, though? No? As long as you can sing tenor or bass? As long as you can sing tenor or bass. They'll take anybody. We love it. Thank you. That was truly beautiful. That's going to be with me all week. My friends, I hope I will see you out in coffee hour. I hope you go say hi to the environmental ministry table, the new gardening team, all of those things. Happy Earth Day. Go forth.